I got the post on the north side of the building, just off of East Shore.
All right, just walk back up that way. Get out of line of sight of the building.
I'm trying to. I think I got everybody out. I think I got everybody out. Golden is this right here.
So let's set up a rally point for all the
Get that way, go that way.
victims or witnesses or employees south of this location.
Get out of line of sight of the building.
South on East
Stay on
Shore,
this
out
side.
here.
Come on this side.
There's an open door.
Copy.
Let suspects out. Give me some applause.
Hey, John, I'm posting.
Post?
I'm posting it on.
Stay in the door. 10-9. 10-9.
Table this.
Yep.
Hey, push up, push up. Push, push.
Hands up! Hands up! Hands up! Shots fired. Hey! Hold fire, hold fire. Shots fired, suspect down. Get a roll call.
We have possible DOA.
Keep eyes on, do the rest. I got along with the right.
Hey, catch up. Give me his hand.
Big office on.
Hands up! Hands up! Hands up! Hands up!
It was a quiet morning at the Toyota of Barclay Service Center on September 21, 2023. Employees were going about their day, customers were waiting for their cars, and 24-year-old Alonna Gallon was at her desk, focused on her work. She was a dedicated mother, a loving daughter, and a woman with dreams of building a better future for her 7-year-old son, King. But in a matter of seconds, everything changed. A man walked in, calm, and carrying a coffee. He approached Alonna, exchanged a few words, and then, without warning, pulled out a gun and shot her at point-blank range. The sound of gunfire echoed through the building, shattering the peace of an ordinary day. Witnesses froze in terror as the man, later identified as Lamar Walker, Alonna's ex-partner and the father of her child. He then turned the gun on himself in a desperate attempt to end his own life. But this was only the beginning of the horror. This story is more than just a tragic event. It's a stark reminder of the devastating impact of domestic violence. Alonna Gallon's life was cut short, leaving her young son, King, to grow up without his mother. But her story doesn't have to end here. By sharing this video, we can raise awareness about the warning signs of domestic violence and the importance of seeking help before it's too late. If you or someone you know has experienced domestic violence, we encourage you to share your story in the comments below. Your voice could help someone else feel less alone and inspire them to take action. Together, we can break the cycle of silence and create a safer future for everyone. If this story moved you, please take a moment to like, comment, and share this video. Your engagement helps us reach a larger audience and spread this critical message. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more in-depth stories that shed light on important issues like this one. Let's honor Alonna's memory by ensuring her story sparks change and saves lives. Thank you for watching, and remember, your voice matters. Alonna Gallon was the kind of person who lit up a room with her presence. At 24 years old, she was a devoted mother, a loving daughter, and a hard-working employee who dreamed of a brighter future for her family. Her life revolved around her 7-year-old son, King, who was her pride and joy. Friends and family often described Alonna as selfless, always putting King's needs above her own. She worked long hours at the Toyota of Berkeley Service Center, not just to pay the bills, but to give her son the opportunities she never had. She wanted the world for him, her mother Yuvonda would later say. She wanted him to have everything she couldn't. Alonna's social media was a testament to her love for King. Her posts were filled with photos of him, playing football, smiling at the camera, or simply spending time with her. "My everything," she captioned one picture, "my reason for pushing forward." She often spoke about her dreams for his future, how she wanted to see him graduate from college, how she imagined herself cheering him on from the sidelines of his games, and how she hoped to one day send him off into the world as a confident, capable young man. For Alonna, every sacrifice was worth it if it meant giving King a better life. But being a young mother wasn't easy. Alonna juggled the demands of work, parenting, and her own personal growth. She was determined to break the cycle of hardship and create a stable, loving environment for her son. Her co-workers at the Toyota dealership admired her work ethic and her positive attitude. She was always smiling, one colleague recalled. Even on the toughest days, she found a way to keep going. At home, Alonna was the glue that held her family together. She was close to her mother, Yuvonda, and her siblings, who often leaned on her for support. Her brother Lonti described her as the rock of the family, someone who always knew how to make others feel loved and valued. "She had this way of making you feel like everything was going to be okay," he said. "Even when things were hard, she never let it show." But behind her strength was a story of struggle. Alonna had recently made the difficult decision to distance herself from Lamar Walker, King's father, after what she described as his reckless behaviors. She was determined to create a healthy co-parenting relationship for the sake of their son, but the tension between them was undeniable. Friends say Alonna tried to keep things civil, but Lamar's actions made it increasingly difficult. "She just wanted peace," her mother said. She wanted to focus on raising King and building a better life for them both. On the morning of September 21, 2023, Alonna arrived at work as she always did, ready to tackle the day. She had no way of knowing that this would be the last time she would hug her son, the last time she would dream of his future. Because in just a few hours, her life would be tragically cut short, leaving King to face the world without the mother who loved him more than anything. But what led to this unthinkable act of violence? To understand that, we must first look at the man who pulled the trigger, Lamar Walker. Who was he, and what drove him to commit such a horrific crime? The answers lie in the complexities of their relationship, a story of love, conflict, and ultimately, tragedy. While Alonna was building a future for herself and King, Lamar Walker's life was on a very different trajectory. At 24 years old, Lamar had already faced a series of personal and legal challenges that hinted at a troubled past. Born and raised in Vacaville, California, Lamar had dreams of his own, but his path was marred by instability and poor decisions. Friends and family described him as someone who struggled to find his place in the world, often grappling with unresolved anger and emotional turmoil. Lamar's relationship with Alonna was once filled with promise. They had been together for years and shared a son, King, who meant everything to both of them. But as time went on, their relationship became strained. Alonna often spoke of Lamar's reckless behaviors, though she rarely elaborated. Those close to her say she tried to maintain a healthy co-parenting relationship for the sake of their son, but Lamar's actions made it increasingly difficult. She wanted peace, her mother Yuvonda recalled, but Lamar couldn't let go of the past. According to sources, Lamar had a history of run-ins with the law, though the details remain unclear. Some say he struggled with substance abuse, while others point to unresolved mental health issues. What is clear is that Lamar was a man battling his own demons. Demons that would ultimately lead to tragedy. On the morning of September 21, Lamar arrived at the Toyota dealership where Alonna worked. Witnesses say he seemed calm, even bringing her a coffee as if nothing was wrong. But behind that calm exterior, something was simmering, a darkness that would soon explode in violence. What happened in those final moments between Lamar and Alonna? What pushed him to pull the trigger, ending her life and shattering their son's future? As investigators pieced together the events of that day, they uncovered troubling details about Lamar's past, details that hinted at a deeper, more troubling story. But to truly understand what drove Lamar to commit such a heinous act, we must look beyond the surface and into the heart of their turbulent relationship. What secrets were hiding in the shadows? And could this tragedy have been prevented? The answers lie in the moments leading up to that fateful day, moments that would change the lives of everyone involved forever. The morning of September 21, 2023, began like any other at the Toyota of Berkeley Service Center in Albany, California. Employees arrived for their shifts, customers dropped off their cars for repairs, and Alonna Gallon sat at her desk, focused on her work. She had no reason to suspect that this day would be any different. But just before 11:15 a.m., Lamar Walker walked through the doors. Witnesses say he appeared calm, even carrying a coffee as if he were there for a casual visit. To anyone watching, it seemed like nothing was out of the ordinary. But what happened next would shock everyone. Lamar approached Alonna's desk where she was seated, and the two exchanged a few words. Witnesses recall that the conversation seemed normal at first, no raised voices, no visible tension. But then, without warning, Lamar pulled out a gun. In a matter of seconds, he fired multiple shots at Alonna at point-blank range. The sound of gunfire echoed through the building, shattering the quiet morning and sending everyone into a panic. Alarmed, Lamar wasn't done yet. In a desperate and chaotic act, he turned the gun on himself, attempting to take his own life. Witnesses say they heard another gunshot followed by an eerie silence. Lamar's attempt, however, was unsuccessful. He was still alive when police arrived on the scene, setting the stage for a confrontation that would escalate the tragedy even further. As the first 911 calls came in, dispatchers relayed the horrifying details: an active shooter at the Toyota dealership, a woman shot, and a man still inside with a gun. Police from Berkeley and Albany responded within minutes, evacuating employees and customers while preparing to confront the shooter. But what they found inside would test even the most seasoned officers. The situation was far from over. As police entered the building, they had no idea what they were walking into. What would they find on the second floor? And how would this tragic day unfold in its final, devastating moments? The answers lie in the chilling footage and the heartbreaking aftermath of a day that changed everything. As the first 911 calls came in, chaos erupted at the Toyota of Berkeley Service Center. Dispatchers relayed the horrifying details: an active shooter, a woman shot, and a man still inside with a gun. Police from Berkeley and Albany responded within minutes, their sirens piercing the quiet morning air. The scene outside the dealership was one of panic and confusion. Employees and customers fled in every direction, some screaming, others frozen in shock. Officers quickly established a perimeter, evacuating everyone they could while preparing to confront the shooter inside. Body camera footage released by the Berkeley Police Department shows the tense moments as officers entered the building. Armed with rifles and tactical gear, they moved cautiously through the first floor, clearing each room as they went. The sound of their footsteps echoed in the empty halls, the only noise breaking the eerie silence. Every corner, every doorway held the potential for danger. "We didn't know what we were walking into," one officer later recalled. "We just knew we had to stop him." As they made their way to the second floor, the tension grew thicker. Officers could hear faint sounds, a voice perhaps, or movement. They knew they were close. With weapons drawn, they approached the room where Lamar was hiding, their training kicking in as they prepared for the worst. "We had to be ready for anything," another officer said. But nothing could have prepared us for what we saw. When they entered the room, they found Lamar crouched behind a desk, a silver revolver clutched in his hand. Alonna's body lay on the floor nearby, a grim reminder of the violence that had already taken place. The officers immediately commanded Lamar to drop his weapon and put his hands up. "Put the gun down! Hands up!" they shouted, their voices firm but urgent. But Lamar didn't comply. Instead, he raised the revolver and pointed it directly at the officers. In that split second, the officers had no choice. 5 of them opened fire, their shots ringing out in rapid succession. Lamar was struck multiple times and collapsed to the ground. The room fell silent, the only sound the heavy breathing of the officers as they processed what had just happened. Lamar was pronounced dead at the scene, bringing an end to the violent confrontation. But for Alonna, it was already too late. She had been killed instantly by the gunshot wounds to her head, leaving her young son, King, to grow up without his mother. As the officers secured the scene, they began to piece together what had happened. Lamar's revolver lay on the ground near his body, a chilling reminder of the violence he had unleashed. Nearby, Alonna's lifeless body served as a heartbreaking testament to the cost of that violence. First responders attempted to render aid, but it was clear that nothing could be done. Both Lamar and Alonna were pronounced dead at the scene, but even as the immediate danger passed, questions lingered. What had driven Lamar to commit such a heinous act? Why had he chosen that day, that moment, to end Alonna's life and his own? And what could have been done to prevent this tragedy? As investigators began their work, they uncovered troubling details about Lamar's past, details that hinted at a deeper, more complex story. But to truly understand what happened that day, they would need to look beyond the surface and into the heart of Lamar and Alonna's relationship. What secrets were hiding in the shadows, and could this tragedy have been prevented? The answers lie in the moments leading up to that fateful day, moments that would change the lives of everyone involved forever. In the wake of the shooting, the most heartbreaking casualty was not just the loss of 2 lives, but the future of a 7-year-old boy named King. In a single, senseless act of violence, King was left without both of his parents. Alonna Gallon, his devoted mother, had been his world, his protector, his cheerleader, and his guiding light. Lamar Walker, his father, was now gone too, leaving King to navigate a world that had suddenly become much darker and more uncertain. For King, the loss was unimaginable. At just 7 years old, he was forced to grapple with a reality that no child should ever face. Family members describe him as a bright, energetic boy who adored his mother and looked up to her in every way. They were the best of friends, Alonna's mother Yvonne said. She was his everything and he was hers. Now, King would have to grow up without the woman who had dedicated her life to giving him a better future. The emotional toll on King's family was immense. Alonna's parents, siblings, and extended family were left to pick up the pieces of a shattered life. "My heart is hurting," Alonna's father Alonzo wrote on Facebook in the days following the shooting. Her brother Lonte shared a series of heartfelt posts, one of which read, "It's safe to say I will never be the same again." The family struggled to come to terms with the senselessness of the tragedy, their grief compounded by the knowledge that King would now have to face the world without his mother. But amidst the pain, the community rallied around King. A GoFundMe campaign organized by Alonna's mother Yvonne quickly gained traction. The goal was to raise $50,000 to support King's future, funds that would go toward therapy, education, and enrichment programs for his favorite sports, football and baseball. The response was overwhelming. Donations poured in from friends, strangers, and even local organizations, surpassing the initial goal and raising over $54,000. "We are so grateful for the outpouring of love and support," Yvonne wrote on the GoFundMe page. "King will need all the help he can get to heal from this tragedy." The campaign was more than just a financial lifeline. It was a testament to the impact Alonna had on those around her. Friends and family shared stories of her kindness, her dedication, and her unwavering love for her son. Alonna was the kind of mother who always put King's needs before her own, Yvonne wrote. She dreamed of a life where she'd send her son off to college and support him through every stage of life. This tragedy leaves behind a child who will need not only the support of his close family, but of the community around him. As King's family began the long process of healing, they were determined to honor Alonna's memory by giving him the life she had always dreamed of. But the road ahead would not be easy. The emotional scars of losing both parents in such a violent and public manner would take years to heal. For now, King was surrounded by love and support, but the weight of his loss would linger for a lifetime. As the community mourned, investigators began the painstaking work of piecing together what had happened on that tragic day. The Albany Police Department took the lead in investigating Alonna's homicide, while the Alameda County Sheriff's Office and District Attorney's Office reviewed the officer-involved shooting that claimed Lamar's life. The Berkeley Police Department also launched an internal review to assess whether policies and procedures had been followed. Early findings suggested that the shooting was an act of domestic violence. Witnesses and family members confirmed that Lamar and Alonna had a strained relationship, with Alonna recently distancing herself from Lamar due to his reckless behaviors. But as investigators dug deeper, they uncovered shocking details about Lamar's past that shed new light on the tragedy. Sources revealed that Lamar had a history of run-ins with the law, though the specifics remained unclear. Some suggested he had struggled with substance abuse, while others pointed to unresolved mental health issues. Friends described him as a man who often bottled up his emotions until they erupted in unpredictable ways. "He wasn't a bad person," one friend said, "but he had demons he couldn't control." Investigators also looked into the events leading up to the shooting. Witnesses recalled that Lamar had visited the dealership earlier that morning, bringing Alonna a coffee as if nothing was wrong. But behind that calm exterior, something was simmering, a darkness that would soon explode in violence. What had pushed Lamar to commit such a heinous act? Was it a moment of rage, or was there something deeper, more calculated behind his actions? As the investigations continued, questions remained unanswered. Could this tragedy have been prevented? Were there warning signs that were missed? And what could be done to ensure that no other family would have to endure such a loss? The answers lie in the moments leading up to that fateful day. Moments that would change the lives of everyone involved forever. But one thing was clear. Alonna Gallon's death was a senseless act of violence that left a young boy without his mother, a child she was co-parenting with the man who took her life. Her story serves as a stark reminder of the devastating consequences of domestic violence and the importance of seeking help before it's too late. As the investigations unfold, one question lingers: could this tragedy have been prevented? The answer might surprise you. Alonna Gallon's life was cut short by a man she once loved, leaving a young boy to grow up without his mother. This tragic story serves as a stark reminder of the devastating consequences of domestic violence. Alonna was more than a victim. She was a devoted mother, a loving daughter, and a woman with dreams of a brighter future for her son, King. Her death is a heartbreaking loss, not just for her family, but for everyone who knew her, and for the community that rallied around her in the wake of this tragedy. But Alonna's story doesn't have to end here. By sharing her story, we can raise awareness about the warning signs of domestic violence and the importance of seeking help before it's too late. If this story moved you, please like, comment, and share this video. Your engagement helps us reach a larger audience and spread this critical message. Together, we can honor Alonna's memory by ensuring her story sparks change and saves lives. We also encourage you to support King's future by contributing to the GoFundMe campaign organized by Alonna's mother, Yuvonda. The funds will go toward King's therapy, education, and enrichment programs, giving him the resources he needs to heal and thrive. Let's come together as a community to ensure that King's future is filled with love, opportunity, and the support he deserves. Thank you for watching and for being a part of this important conversation. Stay tuned for our next video, where we delve into another shocking case that left a community in mourning. Until then, take care of yourselves and each other, and remember, your voice matters.